What's up you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I decided to create two eye looks using the new Divine Rose palette from Mcgrath. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold it up for you guys. So I tried my best to use as many shades as I could in these two eye looks so I could really see how they work. I will start off with the first look and I will leave the timestamps below, and then the second look, I actually have it on my eyes right now, which is this. Alright you guys, so this is a look number one. I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into it and show you guys how I do everything step by step. I'm picking up the shade Valoria and a blending brush. Alright, so picking up my blending brush, I'm gonna go into the crease and pat that down, and then sort of bring it in windshield wiper motions and small circular motions. I do plan on cutting the crease, so I am gonna bring the shadow really into the eye right about here, but mostly focusing it out here. And make sure you are blending until you feel like your arm is literally gonna fall off. Just kidding. Alright you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a clean blending brush just to sort of blend out the edges even better. I'm gonna go back and forth. So the only shade I have on my lids right now is Valoria, and I basically just patted that down into the crease and then kept bringing it in, and I did dip into the palette multiple times in order to really build up this beautiful dusty rose color on my lids. Right, so I'm just going to blend out with this clean blending brush, and I feel like it is making the edges look really diffused and not harsh. So yeah, just make sure when you're blending it out, you're bringing it all throughout your eye, because I am gonna go in and add a little bit of concealer onto my lid right here, and I just think it looks really pretty when there's a bit of a contrast between the shimmers that I apply and then this darker contrast right here. So now that you have Valoria all packed on the lid, I'm gonna go ahead now and actually cut my crease. You guys, so I'm picking up my Sigma eyeshadow base in Sorbet. Alright you guys, so I just went ahead and applied that base onto my eyes just using it from the applicator itself, but I am going in with a clean flat shader brush from Sigma. This is a Sigma E55 eye shading brush to really pat this down and make sure it looks good. And I'm stopping right about here. So if you don't have an eye shading base like this, like a rosy eye shader base, it doesn't matter, you can just do exactly what I just did but with concealer. Okay, so picking up a flat shader brush, I'm gonna go in with these two shades right here. This one right here is Skin Show Nude, and this one right here is Lovelace. So we're gonna add these two shimmers onto the eyes right now. And the lighter one right here, which is Skin Show Nude, is going to go in the inner part of the lid, and then this darker one right here will go in the middle part of the lid. So this brush right here is a pretty tiny one. This one is from Sigma. It's a short shader brush in E20, and I love this one because when I do cut creases and I want them to be really precise, I'll go in with a really small brush just like this. Alright, so for Skin Show Nude, which is that light shimmer shade, I'm going to apply that into the inner corner. And I'm gonna bring that up to here, and then the rest of it I'm gonna go in with that darker shimmer shade, which is called Lovelace. We're picking up a Lovelace on a flat shading brush, and we're going to apply that into the middle of the lid and blending it out with Valoria and with Skin Show Nude. To use my fingers really quick just to blend these shadows out. Alright, so I'm going in with Valoria and I'm adding that into my crease and blending it in with the shimmer shade right here, Lovelace. Alright guys, so I'm picking up a pencil brush and I'm going to add Velouria into my lower lash line. So I'm taking this a tiny little brush from Real Techniques. This is a detail brush and I'm picking up Skin Show Nude, which is that light shimmer shade I used right here, and I'm going to apply that into my lower lash line and into my inner corner. Alright you guys, so this is almost the final look. I want to do something a little bit extra, so I'm going to pick up the palette really quick and I want to pick up this glittery shade in it. Alright you guys, so I want to pick up the shade right here, which is Astral Solstice. Alright, I want to add that right into my inner corner, but just a tiny bit. If you guys know me, I will find any chance I can get to add glitter into my eye look. So that is what we're going to do right now. Alright, so I'm mainly adding that into the inner corner where I added Skin Show Nude. And I'm just patting it down nicely. I'm not going back into the palette. That was literally just a one swipe thing and then that's it. Okay, so I'm picking up my Suva Beauty liner in Grease. This is just a black liner. This is like a water activated type of liner. So I'm gonna go ahead and just align the eyes. I already went into my waterline with my Sigma black eyeliner. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a wing on top of the eyes and that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and apply these false lashes. I just want to go big or go home, you know what I mean? Like I want to really go all in with this look because I feel like this is a really beautiful glam moment. Alright, so this is the finished look. I went ahead and did my lashes off camera and the lips, but I'll tell you guys what I did. On my lips, I went in with this lip liner. This is a gel lip liner from Sephora. This is in the color Hot Sauce, and this is my go-to. I always use this. I feel like I need a lifetime supply of this, but let me just show you guys what it looks like on the hand. On the center of my lips, I'm wearing my go-to nude, which is from Jeffree Star Cosmetics. This is his Velour liquid lipstick in the shade Can't Relate. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch that for you guys. So I love wearing this in the middle of the lid. I just love the way it looks. Okay guys, so I'm gonna show you guys some close-ups of this look and then I'm going to move on to the next look. So for the second look, I decided to kind of create a cut crease, like a gold cut crease, and I'm going to show you guys how I did this step by step. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, so I'm grabbing a really small brush, and this is a Morphe E35 brush, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of Extreme Mahogany, and I'm going to use this small brush to create a crease above my crease, sort of like right here, and then blend it out afterwards. So the way that I'm going to create this line, I'm sort of going in the natural way that my eye goes. So it's going to go in, curve, and then go out that way. Now as you guys can see on this side of my eye, I sort of messed it up a little bit, but that's fine because I am going to go afterwards with concealer and just cut the crease, so it's okay if you mess up a little bit. This is a really small blending brush. This is a Sigma E36 brush, and I'm just going to apply that to the line and just blend it out. I am dipping back into the palette just to get a little bit more of Extreme Mahogany onto my brush, and I'm just blending that back and forth. Alright, so I'm just going to spend quite a bit of time really blending that out, making sure there's no harsh lines. Okay, so picking up my ABH Soft Glam. So I'm picking up the shade right here, Tempera, and I'm using the same brush, my Sigma E36 blending brush. and I'm going to apply that right above just to sort of blend that shadow out. So I'm just applying tempera into my upper crease just to really blend everything out. Alright, so picking up the P. Louise base and a concealer brush, I am going to go ahead and cut the crease. Alright, so this is how much you should have on your brush. I always go in on my hand and take off any excess, so it makes it like a lot easier to work with. And I'm just going to look down when I do this. And you just want to cut the crease in the natural shape of your eye. And then I'm going to pat onto the lid. Okay, so once you have your cut crease going on, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the palette because we're going to go in with a shimmery shade. So I'm going to pick up Refined Gold, and I'm going in with the Sigma Cream Color Brush. This is great for picking up any shimmers, and this is an E58. And I'm going to go ahead and actually spray my brush with a little bit of water, or you guys can go ahead and use setting spray, whatever you like. I'm going to use a brush, but I actually might go in afterwards with my finger just because this specific shade works so well with your finger, but I'm just gonna use the brush so I can get a more precise application. So I'll show you guys, like, I feel like, I don't know, it just goes on so much better when you use your finger and it's so much quicker. But for right here, like towards the crease, I'm gonna use a brush just so it's a little more precise. And I'm going to apply that all over the lid, and then when I get to just about here, I'm going to sort of apply it like in a wing. And then right here in like the inner corner, I just added like a bunch right there. And yeah, I'm just using my brush to sort of curve it. Alright, to finish up this look, I'm picking up the Sigma gel liner, and I'm using my Sigma small angle brush in F65, and I'm just gonna go ahead and create a wing. So as you guys can see, I'm just sort of carving out the wing. And then it's easier for me to carve it out and then just fill it in. I've just winged it out, and now I'm going to make it attach. And remember, if you don't feel like it's perfect, you can always go in with a Q-tip and just clean it up underneath. That is literally how I get my wings to be so sharp. I actually just have a little bit of water, and I just cleaned up the bottom, and now I'm using the dry side. Just going to clean up the whole thing. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just use the leftover of the brush and just apply that to my lower lash line. Alright, so there you go. I'm gonna go in and actually add some black into my waterline, and then I'm gonna go and do the other eye off camera. Okay, so I'm gonna dip back into the palette because I want to go in with the brown shimmery shade, which is Sable Bronze. So let me just pick it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pop these lashes on. I use the same exact ones in my first look. Okay, so this is what the second look looks like, finalized with lashes on. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom out so you guys can see the full look. I'll do some quick close-ups. So that is pretty much it for the eye look. I'm gonna go ahead and do some zoom in so you guys can see the eye a little bit better and just show you off the eye a little bit more. I am gonna talk a little bit about the palette and the packaging and the price point, so stay tuned for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually just get into a really quick review right now about the palette. So I was able to get this palette beforehand because a mother herself was giving them out in New York City. So the price point on this palette is $125, which is a lot for an eyeshadow palette. And I'm gonna go ahead and hold it up for you guys. So not only is it a lot, it's also a lot for the fact that you're only getting 10 shadows, but I'm going to explain to you why so many people end up buying these shadows, especially the mothership ones. So this is the second one I have, but the other one I bought I think 2 years ago, and this one is the Sublime. So it was so funny, I literally just kept watching so many YouTube videos on this. I kept watching so many promo videos like over and over again. And I wanted this palette so bad, but I just didn't want to spend the $125 because that is so much. So I remember I actually ended up saving up for it, and then I ended up buying it on sale. Either it was the Rouge sale or she had one of those flash sales that she has on her website. So make sure you actually do follow her on Instagram because she will randomly just have like a flash sale, but you have to get on it really, really quick. And typically she has a lot of sales on her website, so just make sure you follow her on Instagram or subscribe to her email because that's usually how I hear about it. So I actually picked up this one, the Sublime one, and I honestly am so happy I got it. I truly love this palette. It's actually one of my favorite palettes. And so what really attracted me to this palette specifically was the color story. So I loved the pop of green, I loved the copper shade right here, and I loved this duochrome like pinky orangey finish. So there was just a lot going on in this palette that really made me want to purchase it. So whenever you're thinking about getting a mothership palette, just make sure you look at the color story and think to yourself like, am I really going to use that a lot? So I feel like the stars of this palette is these 4 shades right here, which she typically does throughout her mothership palettes. These 4 shades right here is really what makes me want to buy the palette. I mean, they're just amazing. This right here is a beautiful glitter topper shade. It could either be worn alone or you could put it on top of shadow, which I did in this video right here, and this is Astral Solstice. Right here you have Iridescent Pink 003, and you will see that she has a lot of these throughout her palette. She'll have like a duochrome type of color. And then here's another duochrome, which is VR Rose Venus, and it's sort of this metallic-y duochrome shade. And then you have the same thing here, which you have this beautiful metallic gold, which is the shade Refined Gold 002. So these 4 I feel like are the stars of the show of the whole palette, whereas these are really amazing as well. So you will notice that typically in her mothership palettes she doesn't have a lot of mattes. What really is the game changer here is the shimmers. So typically so whenever I take my other mothership palette with me, it also only has 2 mattes. I usually have to carry around some other palette with me. So I typically will carry the ABH Soft Glam because this has a lot of beautiful transition shades to take with me, and I'll carry the mothership with me. But sometimes when you just carry the mothership with you alone, sometimes you feel like you can't really create a full-on look with it. The thing with the mothership palettes is like she mainly focuses on the shimmers and those metallic shades that you cannot find in any other palette or any other brand. No other brand does that type of formula. But the only thing is that there's not too many mattes in it, and if you need a couple of mattes or transition shades to create a full-on look, then you'll have to take another palette with you, which I don't really mind, but I felt like mentioning that for you guys. So you will notice that throughout all of the motherships, there's typically only 1 or 2 mattes. So that is important for someone, you know, who really works a lot with mattes. So I felt like letting you guys know that. Alright, so now I'm going to get into the packaging in this palette. So everything from the unit card into the packaging itself is incredible. So I'm gonna hold it up for you guys. So this is the packaging that the Divine Rose came in, and it also came with the sheet with all of the shade names in it. But in the other Mothership palette that I bought as well, I always keep this packaging. I just feel like this is a piece of artwork that I just want to keep. Okay, so this is the packaging right here, and I'm telling you guys, this is not cheap, not flimsy at all. Like, this is sturdy, high quality packaging. Alright, so my favorite part of the palette is actually this gold backing right here. I just love how luxurious this looks and how it feels, and I am obsessed with the etching right here. It just feels very high quality. And then I love this etching right here in the back, which is actually really easy to read, which is nice. So I actually keep this part of the palette actually facing up on my vanity just because I feel like it's very eye-catching. Alright, so overall I'm actually really happy with this palette because it has such soft, rosy, pinky colors that can be worn every day or can be used for glam. Like you guys can see on my eyes right now, like I would definitely wear this for New Year's Eve, or I would do this on someone for bridal makeup. But yeah, I just love how this palette can be worn just like everyday neutral, and then you can also do glam looks with it. So I feel like you can get a good variety of looks with it. You guys, so I feel like I covered everything that I had to say about this palette. If you guys have any questions or any looks that you guys want me to do using this palette, definitely let me know in the comments below. I will be doing eye swatches and then another video doing more looks using this palette. So make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.